Welcome to the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast and YouTube channel, where we bring fun and magic back to your life and business. This is the space where we shift your energy so you can lean back, have fun, while being the full expression of who you are, and live your dreams as you've always wanted. I'm your host, Kay Decker, aka the Sparkle Bomb Coach, and I help women to connect with their soul and intuition, tap into their desires, and magnetize everything they desire in life, business, and relationships by turning on their inner sparkle. And I'm so excited for you to be here. So let's sparkle! Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast and YouTube channel. So today we are talking about how to embrace the unknown and how to really keep trusting our intuition and how to strengthen it. So this episode is inspired by one of my gorgeous mastermind clients that invited me to be part of her summit. And if you want to watch the entire interview, it was freaking amazing. It was by Lauren Lindsay, the Female Expansionist, and I actually listed it in the show notes below as well. So go check it out. She asked me a question that really got me thinking, and I just wanted to expand on this. So the question was, how do I embrace the unknown and the risk without knowing? And how do I keep doing that? And how do I do that in the beginning? So where the question came from is that when I was in 2019, when I was making about $500 per month, I decided to really go all in and invest in a one-on-one mentor. And I paid over $30,000 in full for 6 months of coaching with a private mentor. After those 6 months, I was still making somewhere between like the $1,500 to $2,500 per month. So not as much as I desired, #clearly. But I still took another step and I invested again. I stayed in my mentor's mastermind and I just kept going and kept trusting and kept believing that it's going to happen. And it was really stepping into the unknown, right? And every time that we start something new, something different, whether is it that we launch our businesses or we launch a new offer or we do something differently or we share branding that is completely different than everything else that we've ever done, or we share more vulnerably than we've ever shared before, or we start doing Facebook Lives when we didn't do them before. Like every single time that we do something that we haven't done before, it's always stepping into the unknown, and it's always risky, and it's always scary until it's not anymore. So especially if you're here today and you are thinking about doing something that it's scary, whether is it that you want to launch something new, or you want to launch your business, or you want to raise your prices, or you want to hire a mentor, you want to join a mastermind, whatever it might be. And you're getting that intuition, you're getting that nudge, you're getting that hint, and you're like, oh, but I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know. This is going to really, really help you. And if you are not facing something like that, keep on listening. I'm sure there's going to be something why you were guided to this episode. Okay, so let's dive in. I don't know about you, but I am a very intuitive person. I just know things. And every single time that I am pulled in a direction, like, I just gotta go. I have to go and I have to make the move. I have to do it no matter how scary it is. But when I first started operating from my intuition, from my inner knowing, from that little inner whisper, if you will, I was scared. I was scared to do that because I mean, it logically cannot be really explained, right? Like even the fact, like, hiring a coach when you're making just $500, you don't have the money, and doing it anyway because you feel the whisper, because you feel the nudge, like that's freaking crazy. And my husband, when I told him that this is what I wanted to do, like he was freaking out. But when our intuition is strong enough, and when we tune in, and if we know how to listen to it and how to really tap into the power of our intuition, we're able to do it. So how do I do that? How did I strengthen my intuition? How did I start trusting my intuition more and more? So the first thing that I also told Lauren in an incredible interview is that I do it literally every single day. So every single day I do things based on my intuition. And I started small. I started with little things, whether it was intuitive eating or it was just listening to when I had this nudge of like turn left or exit the highway or whatever. I just always do it. Or if I get an intuition like go check out the mail or go through the lobby or go this way, like simple things like that, I always listen to my intuition. I always listen to that little whisper, and sometimes there's a reason and I see it, and sometimes there isn't, and that's okay either way. So I would always do that. And then the second big thing that really, really helped me, especially at the beginning, especially when I was still at the beginning stages of my business, I had to find an anchor. I had to find something, some area of my life when I listened, when I trusted to that little voice, and it worked. And I know that every single person on this planet, like if you lived, and unless you were always going against your intuition, there is something that worked. There is something that you can use as your anchor for your intuition. For me, what this anchor was actually my relationship. So some of you might know, some of you might not, but my husband and I, we met in Boston, and we actually met through Tinder. That's a whole another story for some other time. But when we met, I wasn't actually planning on meeting a man. I was quite done with them, and I was really decided that I am just, if that's okay, that if I'm going to be alone forever, I'm going to be okay. And I was genuinely almost excited. I really liked myself. And it was for the first time ever. Before that, I never felt whole. I never felt enough. And that was really the time when I arrived to like, you know what? I really can enjoy time by myself. I am good. I don't need man, but I still went on this date. But anyway, I went on this date and I met this man, and a long story short, we went on 3-4 dates and I could not figure this guy out. Like I couldn't figure him out. I was so curious and I didn't even know how I felt about him. Like I kind of liked him, but I wasn't like 100% sure. I was just like, I don't know. There's something. But anyway, my intuition was spot on with that because I felt that he was hiding something, and he was. On our 4th date, he told me that in less than a month, he was moving from Massachusetts, from Boston, to Texas to continue in his Air Force pilot career, to do his training. And I was pissed because at the time I was an au pair in the Boston area, and I knew I was going to stay there for at least another 6 months, and I was actually just extending with my family for another year. So I would be for sure for a year and a half in the Boston area. And he just went on a couple of dates with me and just told me that he was moving to Texas. And I was so upset because I really liked him at this point. I really liked him, and knowing his secret, if you will, kind of broke down the barrier, because then there was nothing weird about him. Like I didn't feel the vibe that he was hiding something. Like that was it. But at the same time, I was really upset because I felt tricked. I felt like, what the heck? Why is he meeting someone here when he knows that he's moving? Plus, on top of that, I am from the Czech Republic. So I knew that eventually I was going to go back. So it was a whole mess. I was really upset. I was really mad. But because I liked him, I literally told myself, you know what? I'm just going to keep dating him, and there's going to be something that I'm going to hate about him, and then it's going to be easier. Well, that didn't happen. And I really followed my intuition with that one, even though it didn't feel super clear. But I followed my intuition when he asked me to move in with him 3 months into us dating. I followed my intuition when he asked me to marry him 9 months into our relationship. I followed my intuition the entire time of our relationship, when it didn't make sense, when it was crazy, when it was silly, when it almost was stupid. I just did that. And we've been together for now 4 years, I think, over 4 years. And we've been married for the majority of the time. And that always I always listened to my intuition. And at the time when I was like just dating him, I would always see 1111 everywhere. And I would see all these aligned numbers. And I just kept following that nudge. And this became my anchor. This became my anchor. And remembering how I navigated this relationship, how I navigated all of the challenges, all of the craziness, I just used it as an anchor for my business. And I kept telling myself and reminding myself that if it worked with my relationship in such a beautiful way, that it will happen with my business as well. That there is no way that it's not going to work. Because if it worked once with my intuition, it's going to work again. It doesn't matter that it's a different area. It's going to work again with my intuition if I keep listening. And I use this as my anchor to really strengthen my faith and trust and knowing and belief, and also strengthen my crazy decision making. So if you want to tap more and more into the power of your intuition, and if you want to lead your business with your intuition and trust your intuition and trust your nudges more, I highly suggest that you look at where in your life you can find an anchor. Where in your life did you listen to your intuition? And whether it's small things and it's a whole bunch of small things, or it's one big thing, just go back and write it down, write it in your journal, and tap into that power and try to remember, how did it feel and how was it making those decisions? And remember how crazy it felt to be making those decisions and how it now makes sense looking back at it. The thing is that one way or another, we always listen to the nudges eventually. Or when we don't, we get to the point of, oh, I knew it. And then we get really upset. But the truth is that even if you have a lot of those, I knew it moments, you can look back at all the times when you felt the intuition and you can remember, how was it? How did it feel? Where did you feel it? And you can use that as your evidence on the next time I will listen. The next time I get this feeling, I'm going to listen. I don't want to get to the point of, I knew it again. Because we all have that inner GPS. We all have that nudge. It doesn't matter if you've been practicing it for years or you're just starting. We all have it. And what I find is that the more and more I listen without questioning, without going back and forth, without trying to find logical reasons, why should I listen to this voice? I just don't question it. I just go, I follow it. And 99.9% of the times, I get, oh my gosh, I am so happy I did this. Wow, I could not have planned this. I could not have thought of this. I am so happy I did this. Your intuition and your inner voice is so powerful. And if you really allow yourself to listen to it, you're going to be mind blown. So I hope that this episode really helps you to strengthen your intuition, to strengthen that voice. And if there is an action, if there is something that you've been feeling pulled to, decide that you're going to trust yourself. Trust yourself. Give yourself the permission to trust yourself, to trust your power. You don't need a permission from someone to tell you that, yes, your intuition is right. But if you do, I'm giving you the permission. Your intuition is most likely right. Listen to that inner voice. Especially if you want to listen to it, because you know that something amazing is on the other side of it. I hope that this episode helped you. If you liked it, please take a screenshot and tag me at KDecker Coaching on Instagram, or if we are friends on Facebook, at KDecker, or if you are inside of the Sparkle Society, come on and tell us on the thread of this podcast that you loved it. What did you enjoy? Tell me all the things. I love recording these little episodes for you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!